Chapter 1. I Refused the Crown Prince. I woke up inside the dating visual novel I had finished the night before. Unfortunately, it was not even one of my favorites. Every male lead in the game was a walking bad ending, disguised behind a handsome face, a tragic childhood, and enough red flags to decorate the entire royal capital. The worst of them was standing directly in front of me. Crown Prince Sebastian Lemonia, the original male lead. He knelt beneath the ballroom chandeliers, holding out a diamond rose, while hundreds of nobles waited for my answer. He looked exactly as the game had drawn him. Golden hair, perfect posture, and the confident smile of a man who had never seriously considered being refused. "My lady," Sebastian said, "accept this rose and become mine." Become mine. That wording should have concerned the original heroine more. Unfortunately, she always accepted. Sebastian's route began like a fairy tale. He covered the heroine in jewels, defended her from insulting nobles, and promised to make her the most powerful woman in the kingdom. Then he dismissed her friends, replaced her servants with guards loyal to him, forbade her from leaving the palace without permission. By the final chapter, the heroine wore a crown she had never wanted and lived inside a beautiful tower with no handle on the inside of the door. The game called it eternal love. I called it imprisonment. Sebastian raised the rose. Well, 3 choices appeared before me. Accept the rose, blush and look away, confess your love. There had never been a 4th option. I took 1 step backwards. No. The ballroom fell silent. Sebastian laughed softly. "You are nervous." "I am not." His smile tightened. "Then stop playing games and accept." I said no. The ballroom doors closed behind me. Prince Root rejected. Sebastian rose. "Isaac, escort Lady Naomi somewhere private. She needs time to reconsider." A knight in silver armor stepped forward. Before he could reach me, a woman's voice drifted down from the marble staircase. "If she has refused you twice, brother, perhaps the problem is not her understanding." Everyone turned. Princess Serafina Lemonia stood above us in a dark blue gown, watching Sebastian with open contempt. I recognized her instantly, his older sister, his greatest political rival, and the woman the game would assassinate in 3 days. Serafina descended the stairs and stopped beside me. "Has Lady Naomi committed a crime?" she asked. Isaac hesitated. "No, Your Highness." "Then open the doors." Sebastian's face darkened. "This does not concern you." "You proposed in front of the entire court. You made it everyone's concern." Then she looked at me. "You refused the crown prince in front of half the kingdom." "Yes." "Was that courage or poor judgment?" "Probably both." The corner of her mouth lifted. Serafina held out her hand. "Come with me, Lady Naomi." I stared at the woman the game had already sentenced to death. Then I took her hand. Chapter 2. I chose her. Serafina did not release me until the ballroom doors closed behind us. She led me into a private sitting room, furnished in dark wood and silver. It suited her far better than Sebastian's gold-covered ballroom. Then she turned to face me. "Why did you reject my brother?" I searched for an answer that did not sound completely insane. "Personal preference?" "You looked at him as though he offered you a live snake." That would have been easier to refuse. Her mouth almost curved into a smile. A message appeared. Choose a new route. 4 names followed. Sebastian Lemonia, Isaac Rochester, Franklin Blackwood, Noah Fitzgerald. I knew every ending. Sebastian imprisoned the heroine. Isaac called control protection. Franklin betrayed her for Sebastian. Noah erased the memories that made her resist. 4 handsome men, 4 bad endings. Serafina watched me stare at empty air. "Are you unwell?" "I am considering my options." "You rejected the crown prince 10 minutes ago. That was quick." I already know who I want. I searched the route list again. Serafina's name was missing. Of course it was. She had never been written as a love interest. She existed to threaten Sebastian's claim and die before his coronation. I touched the empty space beneath the final name. Serafina Lamonia. Invalid choice. I tried again. Target unavailable. That is rude, I muttered. Serafina raised an eyebrow. Should I be offended? Probably. Then I remembered the silver teapot, the council chamber. Serafina drinking from a porcelain cup while Franklin distracted the room with news from the northern border. The poison did not kill her. It left her weak enough for the next assassination to succeed. I looked at the clock. The council meeting began in less than an hour. Do not drink the tea tonight. Serafina's expression sharpened. What? At the council meeting, do not touch the silver-rimmed cup. How do you know about the council? I had no proof, and the truth was too large to explain. She stepped closer. Why should I believe you? Because I had watched that poison leave her helpless. Because I knew it was only meant to prepare her for the real assassination. I met her eyes. Because that cup is poisoned, and if you drink it, you will not survive the royal hunt. Chapter 3. The Poisoned Tea. Serafina brought me to the council meeting. Sebastian sat at the head of the table, with Isaac behind him, and Franklin beside a map of the northern border. Then the servants entered with a silver teapot. Franklin began speaking. Your Highnesses, there has been unrest in the north. Every head turned toward the map, just like the game. A servant poured Serafina's tea into a cup marked with a thin silver rim. I caught her wrist before she could lift it. Do not drink that. The room fell silent. Sebastian sighed. Another interruption. That cup is poisoned. Franklin gave me a patient smile. And how could you possibly know that? Before I could answer, Sebastian ordered the servants to clear the table. The cups shifted too quickly. I lost sight of the silver rim. A visiting duke lifted his tea. Stop! He drank before I reached him. The cup slipped from his hand. He collapsed across the table. Chaos erupted. A physician rushed forward. The servant tried to flee, but Serafina caught her at the door. Who ordered this? The woman bit down. Blood touched her lips, and she fell dead. The physician examined the duke. He will live, but the poison will weaken him for several days. Exactly as it should have weakened Serafina. Sebastian turned toward me. How did you know? His voice was calm, but the accusation was clear. You named the cup before anyone drank from it. Either you are unusually perceptive, Lady Naomi, or you knew what was inside. Serafina stepped between us. She warned me before the tea was served. That does not explain how. No, Serafina said. It only makes your accusation less convenient. Sebastian's expression hardened. She should remain under guard. My guest remains with me. For a moment, neither sibling moved. Then a message appeared. First attempt failed. Royal hunt tomorrow. The hunt had been scheduled for the following week. The story was correcting itself. Serafina noticed my expression. What is it? The royal hunt has been moved forward. Her gaze sharpened. And what happens there? That is where they finish the job.
This is an original story from Keiko Novel.
Chapter 4. The Royal Hunt. The royal hunt began the next morning. In the original game, Serafina had arrived weak from the poison and barely able to stay in her saddle. This time she rode beside me with perfect posture and a sword at her hip. Sebastian watched us from across the courtyard. Serafina's horse stamped beneath her. I checked the saddle. One leather strap had been cut almost completely through. Do not mount. Serafina looked down. You found something. I lifted the damaged strap. Sebastian called from nearby. Is there a problem, sister? Poor maintenance, Serafina replied. I will take another horse. His brief glance toward Isaac told me the plan had changed. We rode into the forest with the royal party. Isaac soon fell back beside us. "The eastern trail is crowded," he said. "There is a safer path through the lower woods." I recognized it immediately. That was where Serafina's body had been found. "We are not going that way," I said. "The path is secure." "No, it is not." An arrow struck the tree beside Serafina's head. Masked attackers rushed from the lower trail. Isaac drew his sword, but instead of protecting us, he blocked the route back to the hunting party. "This way." I pulled Serafina toward a narrow trail hidden between the trees. I remembered it from Isaac's route. In the game, he had used it to carry the heroine away from danger. Now I used it to escape him. 2 attackers appeared ahead. Serafina drew her sword and struck the first before he could swing. The second moved behind her. "Left!" She turned and cut across his arm. Another attacker rushed toward me. I stepped back, caught my foot on a root, and fell. His blade came down. Serafina moved between us. Steel struck steel. She drove him back and knocked him unconscious with the hilt of her sword. The remaining attackers retreated. Isaac had vanished. Serafina offered me her hand. "You have a remarkable talent for turning royal events into disasters. I thought your family was managing that well without me." She pulled me upright. Then her expression became serious. "You knew about the saddle, the path, and the attackers." I said nothing. "Why do you keep risking yourself for me?" "Because every choice I had made since waking here had led me closer to her, because I no longer wanted only to survive." I met her eyes. "There is no ending I want where you die." The forest became strangely quiet. "Do you always speak so dramatically?" she asked. "Only when I mean it." She stepped closer and wiped a streak of dirt from my cheek. For one reckless moment, I thought she might kiss me. Instead, her expression hardened. "Then mean this. Tell me the truth." Her hand fell away. "What are you, Naomi?" Chapter 5. The World That Wrote Her Death. Serafina led me into an abandoned watchtower and closed the door. "What are you?" There was no useful lie left. "I am not from this world." She waited. "I woke up here with memories of another life. Where I came from, this world appeared in a dating game." Her hand tightened around her sword. "A game?" "Yes. And my brother. The main romance choice." A bitter laugh escaped her. "Of course he was." I told her about the 4 routes and how each ended with the heroine controlled, betrayed, or changed into someone easier to possess. "And me?" she asked. I hesitated. "Tell me." "You were Sebastian's ambitious sister and political rival. The poison weakened you. The hunt killed you. Your death cleared the way for his coronation." Silence filled the tower. Serafina turned away. "So that was my purpose?" "No." "A convenient obstacle?" "That was how the game treated you." She faced me again, anger breaking through her calm. "My ambition, my hatred of him, my desire for the throne, were those written too?" "I do not know." The answer frightened her more than a lie would have. "What if none of it belongs to me?" "The poison was supposed to weaken you. It did not." "Because you interfered." "The hunt was supposed to kill you. Instead, you chose to protect me." Her expression shifted. "The game never required that." I reached for her hand. "Maybe someone wrote your beginning. That does not mean they own your ending." "What if every choice I make is only another part of their story?" "Then choose something the game never allowed." Her eyes returned to mine. "Choose to live. Choose the throne. Choose me, if that is what you want." My voice softened. "But choose because it is yours." Serafina looked down at our joined hands. "Did you choose me because you pitied a character who was supposed to die?" "No. You approached me because you knew what would happen. At first." The word hurt her. "I came to save the princess I remembered," I said. "I stayed for the woman the game never understood." After a long silence, she asked, "What happens next?" "Sebastian frames you for treason at the coronation." "When?" A message appeared. "Coronation tomorrow." I closed my eyes. Tomorrow. Serafina moved to the tower window. Royal banners were already rising above the palace. "They wrote me to die before he became king." Then she turned back to me. "Then we will not escape his ending." Her gaze was steady. "We will replace it." Chapter 6. The Coronation Trap. The coronation began the next morning. Sebastian stood before the throne in white and gold. Serafina entered beside me. Before we reached the center of the hall, Franklin stepped forward with several sealed letters. "We have uncovered evidence that Princess Serafina arranged the poisoning and the attack during the hunt." Whispers spread through the court. Noah raised one hand over the documents. Blue light passed across the seals. "The royal magic is genuine." Sebastian looked at his sister with practiced disappointment. "You tried to murder a royal guest and blame me." "You forged those letters," Serafina said. "The court mage disagrees." Isaac stood near the doors with armed guards behind him. Every male route had reached the same conclusion. They chose Sebastian. Final route event. Sebastian extended his hand toward me. "Naomi, come here. Accept my proposal, and I will forgive everything." "If I refuse?" "You will share my sister's punishment." I smiled. "No." His face hardened. "Isaac, arrest them." "Wait," I said. The guards stopped. I pointed to the documents. "Noah's magic proves the seal is genuine. It does not prove Sebastian wrote those orders." Noah's expression changed. Serafina faced Franklin. "Where are the real orders?" "In the hidden compartment beneath his writing desk," I said. Franklin went pale. Sebastian stepped forward. "Lies." "Then search it," Serafina said. A senior officer sent 2 neutral guards from the hall. I turned toward Isaac. He also moved the Eastern Patrol before the hunt. Isaac drew his sword. "You know nothing about royal security." "I know you ordered the guards away 12 minutes before the first arrow." Several soldiers exchanged uneasy looks. Serafina faced them. "Who received that order?" One young guard lowered his weapon. "I did, Your Highness." The doors opened. The neutral guards returned carrying Sebastian's original letters. The orders described the poison, the damaged saddle, and the attack in the forest. The court erupted. Sebastian seized the ceremonial sword beside the throne. Isaac attacked with him. "He strikes from the right," I warned. Serafina stepped aside, struck Isaac's wrist, and sent his sword across the floor. Sebastian charged. She turned his momentum and forced him to his knees before the throne. Her blade rested against his shoulder. "You were given every advantage," she said, "and still believed fear was loyalty." The royal guards arrested Sebastian and his allies. When the hall quieted, the first noble bowed to Serafina. Others followed. Main route broken. Story complete. The world around me began to fade. Chapter 7. The Queen's Chosen. When the light returned, I was standing in the throne room. Sebastian's banners were gone. Serafina stood before the throne in silver and blue, a crown resting above her dark hair. The court bowed. "Long live Queen Serafina." For a moment, she looked exactly like the woman the game had never allowed her to become. Then a message appeared. "Return home." The throne room faded at the edges. Beyond it, I saw my old bedroom. My phone still lay beside the game I had finished. The life I had left only days ago. Serafina noticed my expression. "It is offering to send you back." I nodded. "What happens if you stay?" "I do not know." "And if you leave?" "I wake up where I came from." She descended from the throne. Pain crossed her face, but she did not reach for me. "You should choose freely." "I thought you wanted me here." "I do." Her answer came immediately. But I will not become another person who calls possession love. Every male root had promised to keep the heroine safe. Everyone had ended by taking away her choice. Serafina wanted me to stay, yet she was willing to let me go. Two choices appeared: return, remain. I selected remain. My old world disappeared. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then the system flashed. No valid romance route. You have got to be joking. Serafina raised an eyebrow. The game still refuses to accept me? Apparently becoming queen was not enough. She stepped closer. Perhaps I was never the person you truly wanted. Do you believe that? You chose me because every other path was worse. At first, hurt touched her eyes. I took her hand. I chose survival when I ran from your brother. Then I moved closer. I chose you when I stayed. I kissed her. For one heartbeat, the world became silent. Then Serafina's hand settled against my waist, and she kissed me back. The system flickered. New ending. The queen's chosen. When we separated, Serafina looked toward the fading words. So now I am a romance option. No, she frowned. You are the ending I chose for myself. A slow smile appeared. You understand that choosing a queen may be more dangerous than choosing a prince. Still safer than choosing your brother. Serafina laughed and drew me toward the throne. The game had written her as an obstacle. It had written me as someone waiting to be chosen. It had been wrong about both of us.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, subscribing and leaving a like really helps more people discover my original stories. And if you'd like to support the channel a little more, membership includes early access to stories, exclusive artwork, wallpapers, and bonus content. Either way, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next world.